Welcome everybody to coverage of the European Gymnastics Championships from Zagreb in Croatia. You can see the Great Britain team just being introduced to the crowd in Zagreb. Big task in hand for the British women today in this final as the German team come out into the arena. Germany competing alongside Great Britain on bars. Alongside me in the commentary box, Christine Still and Craig Heap, as usual. Both very much looking forward to this competition. Craig, it's going to be a tough ask for Great Britain.
It is, but I feel like from the team qualification there is the opportunity to increase the scores, and it would be fabulous if the ladies could get onto the podium today. Been so close to getting a medal over the last couple of days, but just been pipped to the post. So yeah, I think we have a real opportunity today with the British ladies.
Yes, and Chris, how are you feeling about how things and chances are for a medal here in this final? Because as Craig alluded to, Great Britain yet to see the medal podium at the Women Europeans.
Yes, it's going to be a tough ask. They worked extremely well to qualify in third position. We didn't carry any major falls. They've got to repeat at least that to hold on to a medal position. And of course, over the last few years, we haven't had the team of gymnasts from Russia, but they're back with us now, competing without their flag, competing as World Gymnastics, but they do compete as a team, so it makes the competition even tougher.
Yes, Russian gymnasts have been absent from the international stage for many years. Lots of gymnastic nations have really capitalized on their absence and got themselves medals, you know, Worlds and Europeans, Olympics as well, but they're very much back and will no doubt make quite the impact. They were almost, well, over 4 marks clear of second, who was Italy, and Great Britain, who qualified in third, and Germany in fourth. But the French team, full of a lot of young hopefuls, being incredibly impressive, certainly in the individual competition yesterday. Elena Kola being one of the gymnasts, Chris, that really made an impact, 16 years old.
Yes, she was the really dominant European junior last year, and she stormed into the senior ranks, just like this is the place was made for her. She was very impressive, particularly on the beam, where she took the gold medal.
Well, that's where she's starting, Craig, and they're alongside the Netherlands, who are just being introduced here as well. So I think it's going to be quite an exciting final list. I mean, if we're saying that those Russian gymnasts who are competing for World Gymnastics 2 are almost untouchable, silver and bronze is very much up for grabs here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was, what, 2 tenths between Great Britain and Italy. They're the only 2 other teams to hit the 160 mark. And then Germany, France, Netherlands were 158, and there was about 3 tenths between those.
But a lot of the French didn't hit, did they? And then what we saw from the individuals over the last couple of days, and if they hit, wow.
I think what's really interesting is you would normally have the apparatus finals on the very last day of competition, where this time we've done apparatus finals earlier, and we're finishing the competition of the championships with the team event. Some of the French girls were really impressive yesterday. You know, 16 years of age, new to this type of competition. Will they have the ability, the mental capacity to hit routines today? We shall see. I am hoping that the British women hold off together, because we had some fantastic performances yesterday, and I think, you know, we've got the experience of Becky Downey in the team. Unfortunately, just missed out on a bars final. I think she could go better on bars today. So, and also, I think we've got the advantage of finishing very strongly on vault, which was our highest scoring piece of apparatus. But again, I think the medals will be determined from the beam. As I always say, it's 3 gymnasts up, all 3 scores to count. So any falls mistakes, you're going to really struggle to come back from that, Chris. Yeah. Do you think?
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's an unrelenting format. You only can name 3 gymnasts. All their scores have to count. So really any person, any team can have a couple of people fall, and you know, the advantage changes. It's like penalties being awarded. It's a bit like a penalty shootout.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can see Great Britain here are starting their competition on bars. Ruby Stacey, Abigail Martin and Ruby Evans will be up for Great Britain. And this format is brutal. It's 3 up and 3 to count, so any falls are incredibly costly and the pressure doesn't half build.
I absolutely love this format, actually.
As a viewer.
Yeah, well, if you look at some of the people that, you know, went into the team scores that we looked at from the first day, you know, you're allowed to throw away the lowest score, where obviously now in the final, the jeopardy's right there, and starting on a piece of apparatus like the beam as well.
Yeah.
It's quite nerve-wracking, as we discussed earlier. Bars is a tricky piece as well, Chris.
It is indeed a tricky piece, and what it does mean is that sometimes the tactics from the team point of view will be for the gymnast to not do quite such risky routines.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not a qualifying competition, so nobody's got to fight the original competition. Everybody was fighting for a place in the apparatus finals as well.
Yeah.
So gymnasts had to do the most risky routines. Now my suspicion is that people will play a bit more steady, especially as it's the end of 4 days of heavy competition.
Sure, yeah. And it'll be interesting to see how some of the younger gymnasts that maybe this is their senior debut, how they cope with it as well. I mean, we're talking of Elena Kola yesterday, 16 years old. It's a very different mentality, isn't it, doing it for yourself or doing it for the team, and that exposure and being amongst the seniors and all of that. I mean, it carries weight.
It does indeed, and in fact we've had the Junior European Championships running alongside this, and they don't have a team final. They just award the gold, silver and bronze, and the British juniors took 4th place. They did really well. So it's not something the juniors have experienced before, and they haven't experienced this format of three up. All 3 scores have to count.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting.
Yeah. Another young Italian gymnast at the end of the vault runway who made a mark yesterday, looking to vault first. Naomi Vissa just warming up on beam.
Now, it's also a slightly different format in that we get 1 gymnast from the World Gymnastics team and then 1 gymnast from the Italian team, and so that you've got a direct comparison. You don't all work together. You go 1 and 1. So this is the second warm-up. You have a 3-minute warm-up for one team, and then a 3-minute warm-up, well, less than 3 minutes, about a 2-minute warm-up for the second team. So they warm up before the competition starts, and then they alternate when they go.
So are we expecting there not to be a warm-up in the middle?
I don't think so. I think there will, because it's just 6 gymnasts. 3 gymnasts from each team go straight through, so it's 6 gymnasts just, and normally it's quite acceptable for 6 people to perform before you have a second warm-up.
Yeah, and probably a piece of apparatus like the bars, it's a real team event. You know, it's quite tricky because the preparation between gymnasts is slightly different. So when they go up to the bars, they really have to work as a team, rush. You know, it's everybody on the apparatus, get it ready. Unlike the floor, the vault and the beam, it's a bit more prep.
It's quite a long wait though, isn't it? If you've been in that first warm-up and yet you're last up for your country, there's a long old wait between.
There is, and Craig was just saying about teams have it differently. One of the gymnasts in the Great Britain team is very tall, and she's allowed to have the top bar raised. So they're having to, the apparatus stewards are having to alter that between gymnasts.
Yeah, Mariana Pratt, the first of the French gymnasts, just getting the board in place. Looks like the cameras are going to be sticking with her for the beginning. Two 16-year-olds in the French team, a team of 5, and 3 are chosen per piece.
That's correct.
Mariana Pratt of France will start this competition. France took the bronze medal, the last team competition at the European Championships. But that was without the presence of the Russian gymnasts who are competing here under World Gymnastics 2 team. So on we go then with the Women's European Team Final. It's France's Mariana Pratt kicks things off for us.
Huge responsibility on this gymnast, and she kept her feet on the beam, but that will be quite a large deduction when you have to grab hold of the beam. Now, acrobatic series, you have to do one flighted move. Oh, goodness, now. She didn't actually put her feet on at the end of that series. That was quite a nasty fall. She's pulled herself together well. Now you have to do 2 leaps like that, which she did very nicely. Gaining her rhythm now. You can see she's a very elegant gymnast. Linking these elements, the free cartwheel, the split jump half, and then another split. 3 elements get you a bonus when they're linked. The ever popular squat spin, a double there. Extra points if you can do a triple. She's showing great composure here. And there, the leap to ring position. The gymnast has to take their head back and get the foot as high as their head. It's a little bit tentative, but she really has recovered well from a very unfortunate start. Here comes the dismount. Good double tuck. Well, what a gritty performance there from this young gymnast.
Quite incredible, because she must have been really shaken there to remain composed and to carry on and to keep the difficulty.
A lot of pressure on the rest of the team now, but you're right. I did have a concern over, would these juniors just have the expertise? And you see there, hands down as you picked up, Christine. But yeah, from that fall, it did look quite painful. So to get back up and finish the routine, she did very well. But not a great start for France.
To see Ruby Stacey in the bottom of the screen there for Great Britain. I'll let you know what her score is when it comes in. So, Angelina Melnikova of World Gymnastics 2 at the end of the vault runway, this Russian gymnast.
Very powerful approach, easily around there, double twist on the Yurchenko. Different story at the other side of the arena.
So that was obviously happened a little bit earlier on. Just to let you know, we're not in control of the pictures here. We're back in Salford, and the championships are on in Croatia, in Zagreb. But we will bring you the action as it's fed to us. This is Anna Melnikova, 17-year-old Russian. Second of the Russian gymnasts to vault. Score of 14 came in from the previous gymnast, which was Lyudmila Morshina.
Well, a slight gymnast, but don't let that fool you. Very powerful. Oh, beautifully done. A handspring, front somersault with the 1.5 twist. That was excellent, actually. We've seen some of these attempted by other gymnasts in the championships, but that's one of the best technically we've seen.
Yeah, she was in the vault final yesterday, and she, I think that was almost a better vault than she did in the vault final. She's got the feeling of the apparatus, third day of competition for her.
Ruby Stacey scored 13.433. Big thumbs up in the commentary box for that one.
That means that was a good start for Great Britain.
Well, that was up from a qualification score. That's all they need to do, try and keep calm.
Yeah, absolutely. Consistency is the key, and Great Britain did ever so well not to count a fall. And as you can see, falls are so costly in this 3 up and 3 to count. As the French gymnast Mariana Pratt knows all too well, 16 years old, took a fall there, scores a 14 point. No, that's no, I was going to say that's Connor's vault score. We're still awaiting Mariana Pratt's score to come in, but Russia gymnast, the World Gymnastics 2 team that they're competing for, well ahead as they are building their score on vault. 14.1 for them. So the Italians.
Well, we're hopping all over the place here. That's
Sizio.
a very nice double twist vault from the Italians. The Italians are not quite so strong on vault. They're great on bars, but vault is often not so strong for them. So that was a very good vault here. Flip on, 2 twists, little bit untidy with the feet, but good direction, good height.
Well, Antia, just 15 years old. She's only here to do vault, but job done.
Absolutely.
For the reigning European team champions, Italy. She scored a 13.8 in qualification for that vault. It's Sizio. Confirmation that the World Gymnastics 2 team has another 14.1.
You can just see Abby Martin down below us, getting ready for the bars. Quick spray of the rail. Everybody has a little bit of a different feel for the amount of water on the bars.
Angelina Melnikova has had a storming competition. She got gold on this piece of apparatus yesterday. Gold the year before as well. All-around champion on Thursday. So vastly experienced now. It's incredible, isn't it, Chris, that she's 26 years old, has had such a break from international competition, and to maintain the level and to come out and absolutely nail it like she did is quite something.
Yes, she's a really beautiful gymnast, and she's obviously tremendously motivated. All those years of not being able to compete internationally, she's kept herself in peak physical condition.
Doing a job for the team here. All that experience.
Here we go, watch this, winds up off the top, double twist in the Yurchenko. As easy as that, calm, collected. Just another day at the office for this young lady.
I mean, it was crisp, wasn't it? And she's got a very difficult vault in the locker, but as you said, she opted for the, well, I'll say easier of the 2 vaults, just to make sure of that execution.
Yes, lovely height off the top. She blocks so well.
My only criticism really a little bit on that vault is her feet do cross a little bit, but I mean, we are being critical there, and that's what the judges are going to be looking for.
That was a better vault than in the vault final yesterday, where she hopped to one side in the vault final and was down in the 13.8, I think. So she'll be pleased with that vault for the team.
(13.6) scored for Abby Martin on bars, who just went ahead of Helen Kevrich, who took the European title on this piece yesterday with a score of 14.766 in qualification.
And beautiful style. Look at the absolutely straight line in that handstand. Stoop half turn, huge Jaeger. She catches on straight arms. And now the big Kachev, and this time she gets the combination into the pack salto, really showing us her most difficult work here. Very classy. This is going to be a big score. Very big score for Germany. Beautiful full twisting double back dismount. That's how uneven bars should be performed.
Well, they were hovering around that 6th place before Helen stepped up to bars, but you can expect them to move up the rankings now.
Well, you can see why she's the European champion on this piece of apparatus. Really does understand the timing of the bars. Not showing any fatigue whatsoever. This will really help them.
Just caught a glimpse of Great Britain's Becky Downey there. 14.066 for Angelina Melnikova. Opting for the easier vault, but not giving much away on execution, and certainly doing the job for the World Gymnastics 2 team, of which all of the Russian gymnasts are part of.
Kevrich had quite a big injury last year and is just working bars and beam, but I'm sure she'll be very significant for the German team.
Here we go with beam.
For the Netherlands.
This is Vera Ubink, 15 years old.
And a very nice acrobatic series. Free cartwheel and immediate layout somersault, a very difficult series. She's stylish. All the gymnasts from the Netherlands show great style. They don't always have such difficulty, but this is very nice rhythm. Super straight leg on the spin. And good pace. You have to do some work down low to the beam. Have to make it a little bit original, and that was. Free walkover, just the littlest of wobbles. And a strong side somersault. So she's fulfilled the requirement of backwards, forward, sideways elements. Now, the most difficult 8 elements give you your difficulty level, and the dismount has to be one of those 8. So it's important you finish strongly. Here she does, super 2.5 twist. That was a very impressive routine from this very young gymnast.
Yeah, well, she was 3rd in the Dutch Championships this year, but obviously making a mark on the senior stage, and they've used her for a reason.
Very impressive beam work.
3 up, 3 to count.
That's what they needed. One of the stronger pieces of apparatus for the Dutch team.
Helen Kevrich scores a 14.7, so up on the score that she put on yesterday to take the title. To floor we go, Alba Petisco. See, just warming up the legs. Took a 3rd on floor yesterday in the individual apparatus finals. So far, Great Britain have a 13.666 and a 13.366, courtesy of Abby Martin and Ruby Stacey. Just waiting for the third GB score to come in.
This gymnast, some great choreography, but watch this powerful tumble. Full twisting, double straight, just a little bit low there on the landing. Huge double Arabian, much better and more secure on the second tumble. Needs a concentration, and she does. Showing flexibility and height within the leaps. Bit of change in tempo. Gymnasts have to work with the music. Stands up into a huge double pike. Great performance there from the Spaniard. Just what they need.
Absolutely. And we can just give you a bit of information about what's going on from the British side of things. So 13.433, 13.6, and then we think that Ruby Evans has replaced Becky Downey, and we think that Ruby's just scored an 11.966.
You are allowed to replace a gymnast if there's been an injury, illness, something like that, but Ruby wouldn't have been expecting to. I did think I saw her get onto the podium, so perhaps at the very last minute she was called on to have to work. I don't know. We'll find out more for you.
Well, 13.1 from Vera Ubink, 15-year-old on beam. Fleur Sloth will be next for Netherlands. Just to confirm, we're watching the same pictures of you, and we haven't got any indication of what's going on across the arena floor, so apologies if we can't give you any more information. But as it stands, World Gymnastics 2 are ahead of Germany, and Germany ahead of Italy. Great Britain currently in 4th place, but there's still more gymnastics to go in this rotation. And on to the final gymnasts in each of the groups now. Stay with floor.
Bit of a wait here.
I think this gymnast is a replacement as well. And the replacement's going on.
As you said earlier, Matt, there is a team of 5 and you choose your 3.
Belgium on floor exercise with
So, Lena de Vrecker of Belgium.
Good, strong tourgette to start. And a very good high double tuck. Legs locked together. Good musical interpretation here. Oh, but hands down, that's one hold mark off. The gymnasts try to include as difficult tumbles as they can and difficult leaps and spins as well. All those moves add up to get your difficulty score. It's strong, you have to have a forward tumble as well as a backward. Front summy into full twist. Great style and very good musical interpretation. Not the most difficult tumbles we'll see, so the difficulty score will probably be down a little, but good execution.
Well, she wasn't planning on taking to the floor. She was just here for beam, but doing a job for the team, the 18-year-old from Belgium.
Certainly did, and great actually to see Belgium in the team final. They've really come on over the past sort of decade. Just a shame their hands down on that double back, and it does throw you if you're not expected to do a piece of apparatus, and then the coach says, right, you're up on there. You know, you're focused on something else, so it is a big ask. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out.
No, it's a very big ask, especially for Ruby on bars to be thrown in. She wouldn't have, well, she probably would have left her handguards in the warm-up gym, not expecting to work.
Well,
Yes.
I wonder if, you know, she did have a chance to have a warm-up. We don't know.
Patisco not quite as successful with that score as yesterday in the floor final. I think the gymnasts who did quite a lot of finals yesterday will be feeling the third day of competition.
Apart from Melnikova, who looks as fresh now as when she did in qualification.
She's from the era of gymnasts where they really did loads of routines in training. And you know, she wasn't a very steady gymnast. She was always beautiful, but often fell. But now with her with her maturity, seems to have found her confidence.
Interesting, there's been a few gymnasts over the time that have, you know, done the transition from junior to senior level, and they haven't been that great at the start, but as competition, they either mature into a great performer or fall by the wayside, and she certainly has matured into a real champion, a very special gymnast. I think we can see some of these younger gymnasts coming through that have the same potential as well.
Oh, I would say so, and you know, if a wise coach is patient to see them bed in, find their competitive strength, find what works for them. This is a really stressful situation for all gymnasts, whatever age. You're very exposed, all on your own out there.
So the gymnasts have rotated, and I'm just waiting for confirmation of the graphics to come up but I can give you an indication of how things look. The World Gymnastics 2 team, made up of the Russian gymnasts, they are 1.4 ahead of Germany, Italy, and then Great Britain in fourth. So a chance to see Ruby Evans on bars.
This would be the second half of the routine. I think she must have had a fall. She must have missed her Ginga Salto. But here she's got on. Very nice dismount. Well done, Ruby. She would have had a fall in the middle of the routine, but she scored 11.9, which she had to have performed really pretty well the rest of it.
Yeah.
It's a shame we've not seen any of the British girls on bars. But as you said, Matt, we are not in charge of any of footage that's coming through.
No. Well, there was Ruby's score of 11.966 after the fall, following a 13.433 and a 13.6 from Abby Martin and Ruby Stacey.
Very good scores for both of them. They're pretty near max out at the score that their routines can score.
Yeah.
The final score is determined.
And great for Ruby to get up there unexpectedly and give a performance.
Yeah, so on we go then with the warm-up of the second rotation. So just to confirm, World Gymnastics 2 is ahead of Germany by 1.4 marks, Italy in third, Great Britain fourth, France are fifth, Spain sixth, Netherlands seventh, and Belgium are currently in eighth place. Well, that's one of the 4 pieces of apparatus done. There you go then. So
Interestingly, that Germany have had their best piece of apparatus, so we'd expect to see them right up there. Do not despair, British fans, because Great Britain will finish on the vault, which will give them, really boost the scores. Had a bit of a disappointment on the bars, but if we can get through 3 solid beam routines, I think that will put us back in the mix, because we have seen other nations make errors so far just on that first round.
Now, Becky Downey is expected to work on beam. Whether she will, I don't know. If you withdraw through injury, then you have to withdraw, but I don't know what the circumstances are. I would guess that it will be Abigail Martin who'll step in on beam if
And how's she, Chris? Because obviously you're part of the British setup. Is she okay on beam? Do you think she could do well?
She scored quite well in the first day of competition. Don't think she'd say it's her favourite piece, but she's a powerful gymnast.
I won't know many gymnasts that say beam's a favourite piece, but they, I mean, we seem to be about 12.5 for the British girls on beam.
well, here is the lineup. Yeah. So Ali Elite, Ruby Stacey.
Oh no, it's Ruby Stacey that stepped in then.
Yeah. And, yeah, Ruby Evans. How do we feel about that substitution, Chris?
Ruby Stacey's not so strong as Abby Martin if they both work their best, but she's a very nice gymnast, Ruby Stacey, and she's done a good bar routine. So hopefully, if she's settled into the situation.
Yeah.
Well, Italy and World Gymnastics 2. They'll be warming up the bars there, you can see.
They are using this uprise from the Shap so well. It gives you lots of bonus marks.
Gosh, they are back and sending an interesting message to the rest of the world, the Russian gymnasts in that World Gymnastics 2 team.
They certainly are. I would think that the whole of the world will be looking on and thinking, goodness me, if we want to beat them, we've got to up our game.
Yeah. Certainly in Americans, Chinese and Japanese, we were talking about that this morning, weren't we, about who you thought, Chris, were going to be the ones to watch at the Olympics. And really within Europe, it's the World Gymnastics Team 2 that is going to be the biggest threat, I feel, to the rest of the world. But they are looking very promising. And a lot can happen in, what, we're 2 years away.
Well, we've got World Championships in October, so that will be the first indicator, and that will be the first opportunity for teams to qualify for the Olympics in October.
3 months to go. So, Giulia Perotti, who took a bronze medal on this piece yesterday, is the first of the Italians to swing the bars, just 16 years old.
Another one of the up-and-coming younger stars. Lovely uprise, stalled her into the pike Katchev. Lovely flight down there, the back somersault to the low bar, which is called the pack salto. And the transition up to the top bar, the shap. Lovely toe on into the full twist. Hasn't connected straight to the dismount. Winds up, full twisting double back. Another great routine from the Italians.
Magic. She's so full of fun as well. Always smiling and really celebrating her performances and being at the European Championships as a senior.
Absolutely full of energy, this routine, cleverly constructed. This is so difficult, the uprise into the pike Katchev from Stolder. Look, watch it, she uprises, she goes into the Stolder, then the pike Katchev. Little bit bent arms there, you could see on the slow motion, but such difficult work there. That's how she builds that difficulty score.
I will say one thing, advantage to the Italian team, they're all very calm, aren't they, and confident.
On we go, Alba Petisco, 23 years old. She's working every single piece for Spain today. Scored a 13.4 on this piece in qualification.
Well, we've just seen her on the floor. She's really powerful. 1.5 twist. Oh, well, what a shame. It is a very difficult landing that you've got to open up at the right time and try and fix on a point in front of you. We often talk about a blind landing, but maybe the competition's starting to take its toll a little bit.
Well, she took a fall, didn't she, on floor, hands down on floor, and then now on vault. A shame.
Just looks a little bit slower than she did yesterday.
Perotti scores a 14.166. Great for Italy. Trying to stay in contention with World Gymnastics 2. Anna Pratt of France with her second piece of the day. 16 years old. All the young gymnasts making their mark on the senior stage here in Zagreb.
Secure on that spin. And a half into the double back. Moves smoothly, big strong leap. Very stylish, very difficult, those leaps. Performs this routine beautifully. Lots of eye contact with the audience and the judges. And great tumbling, here we go. 2 full twisting fronts. Plenty of character in the routine. Has to be difficult, this final tumble. 2.5 twists, so aware of herself in the air. Full of charm, full of dynamics. Very good combination of difficult leaps as well as great tumbling.
Well, great to see she pulled herself round from that fall earlier on the beam. Beautiful performance, some difficult tumbling, the 1.5 twist walk out into the double back. Very difficult to fit such a long tumble inside the floor square. Graceful and powerful at the same time. Full twist front into immediate full twist in front. Gymnasts have to perform a forward tumbling element.
Petisco, after that fall on vault, scores a 12.066. Spain are way down on where they would want to be. Back we go to Bean. So Helen Keverich, who leaped the German team way up standings, is now preparing for beam. 14.7 on bars. Currently sitting in third.
Oh, I was going to say very good combination. She worked out of the mount into the change leg half, but it was a little bit short. Good flip layout. Very nicely extended gymnasts. The judges want to see the gymnast right up on the toes. High leaps showing splits. That was a super combination. The change leg leap into the side somersault. Difficult double spin, just a little wobble at the end. The gymnast tried to spot the end of the beam to be precise with that. If any little bent legs or turned up toes get deducted, this gymnast hasn't shown any of that. She's been very stylish. Can she keep the legs straight on the spin? She does. Little tiny loss of balance at the end. The free cartwheel. You have to add these moves in to show your mastery of the apparatus. She has 10 seconds to dismount when you hear that whistle, and she does another very, very efficient 2.5 twists.
Just a few wobbles.
But
in
nothing too
places
costly.
there, yeah.
Nothing too costly.
Well, a wobble's not a fall, and you're right, we've talked about the consistency. There'll be bits for the judges to pick up, but graceful to watch.
So, Angelina Melnikova of World Gymnastics 2, preparing to spray and chalk up the bars.
This is actually the only final she didn't get into because of the count-back rule.
Yeah, just 2 countries allowed in a final. Melnikova, the 26-year-old who took gold back in 2021 on the uneven bars.
Lovely stoop, full. Solid in the handstand. Stoop up to the high bar. The pack salto down immediately, shot with the half turn back to the high bar. Ooh, and then just a little bit of flicker in the legs. Very secure on the pike. Front somersault, the Jaeger. Toe on full. Immediately full twisting double back. Solid routine. There were areas you can see where she had to fight a bit, but
fight she did, and that's the key. Yeah, and that's the key to winning the all-around, which she did on Thursday. And absolute class act, really. I mean, she knew things were slightly off with her bent legs, but she still managed to catch the release and catch, Chris.
Yeah, she lived on the edge with this routine, didn't she? But she wants this for her team very much indeed. Lots of difficulty. Great team leader.
13.333 for Mariana Pratt of France. Floor, much better than beam. Keverich shaking her head. 12.7. Oh well, she says it's not as bad as it could have been.
No, the judging is very strict on beam. You only need a little bit of a wobble.
Well, it looks like we've had a 12.633 on beam for Great Britain.
Alina Kola of France now, the 16-year-old. Silver on this piece of apparatus yesterday.
Big, strong opening tumble, full twisting, double pike. Beautiful, expressive gymnast. And this very nice tumble, full twist into double back. That the passage of leaps, the gymnasts have to include 2 leaps in the series. Straight front somersault, double pike, little step forwards on landing. Lovely control on the triple spin. Really very accomplished performance that. She's very classical, elegant, a beautiful performer.
Well, for me, Christine, this young lady is the performer of the championships. Really, really solid again today. She had a 13.266 in qualification. I love the originality there in the full twisting somersault into the flick, into the double back. I've just flashed up another score for Great Britain on beam of a 12.7, so that's 2 good solid scores, Chris. And a 14 there for Melnikova. World Gymnastics 2 are running away with this competition so far.
But that sounds good scores for the British gymnasts.
Well, Pauline Schaefer-Betts at 29 years old. She was the world champion back in 2017 on beam. Watch this.
And she negotiated the big change leg leap on immediately into a splits jump. She works with very good pace. The gymnasts time their routines in training. They have to be inside 1 minute 30 seconds. And when they're training, they know they have to keep the pace going. It's very positive on that landing of the backflip and layout. That's her acrobatic series. So too long a pause before difficult elements will get a deduction, but will also make you over time. Now, that was a change leg ring. I'm not quite sure the judges would credit it. They'll have to look closely. But she dances along this beam, doesn't she? Lots of expression. Sets up for the double spin. Oh, a little bit of a wobble, but she held on. And the side somersault. It's packed full. Free walkover, she gets it into the 2 jumps, so that's your bonus. 3 elements for 3 elements. Unusual dismount here. Very difficult, full twisting gainer. You have to move away from the end of the beam and you have to keep in line with the beam to get it credited. It had a couple of moments of jeopardy, but a very strong routine for Germany.
Well, that's what they need.
Germany are pushing. Absolutely they are. We're in 3rd after the first rotation. We knew it was going to be very close between silver and bronze. Elena Kolat, 13.366 for floor. Ruby Stacey scored a 12.7 on beam.
Very good, very good.
Ruby Evans a 12.633. Back to bars for Anna Kalmakova of the World Gymnastics 2 team. 17-year-old, a silver in the all-around competition here. And a senior debut and her international debut.
Well, I really like the start to this routine. A really zippy performance. Onto the bars, get the job done as quick as you can. Lovely stalder into the pike catch head, pike salto down. Locks into the handstand there, the big shap. Into the Ginger somersault between the bars. Hugely difficult work. Just the dismount to go. Full twisting double back. And what about that? Well, World Gymnastics 2 have posted 2 14s already on this piece of apparatus, and they look as fresh now as they did in qualification, Christine.
They're yet to score under 14. With all of the performances, 3 vaults and 2 uneven bars, all 14 or over.
Well, I'm sure this one will also be such difficult work. The Stalder with full pirouette, and she's really got lots of energy, this gymnast on the bars. Some gymnasts, they slow down as the routine gets to the end. Not her. Look how high that dismount was above the bar.
Didn't it? It was absolutely
fantastic,
mesmerising.
It's like you wind her up and off she goes. She does, doesn't she? You see some gymnasts, you know, take the time to the routine, but not this one.
13-6 for Pauline Schaefer-Betts. A
Good
very
score on
welcome
bars.
score
Sorry,
for
on
Germany.
beam.
Yes, absolutely huge. Well, that's what you get for having a former world champion in your team. So a chance now for Great Britain with Ali Elite. Needs every 10th here if Great Britain want to claw back up towards the top 3.
Well, she got that very nice combination in the big leap and then the 2 jumps, and this is very important. Free walkover, step forward, change leg ring, second ring jump. That's a big combination, very difficult and worth a lot of marks. Wow, she did really well with that triple spin. And she's working with good pace. Very elegant, very supple, got great flexibility. But this is the very difficult acrobatic series. Single flip, a layout, another layout. Wow, that was really well performed, Alia. Keep it strong. Another hugely difficult leap there, the change leg half. They have to have this passage of sideways dance when they can't see the beam. A little test for all the gymnasts. Now, come on, Ali, a big, strong dismount. Here we go. 2.5. Great work, Alio, just fantastic. From Heathrow Gymnastic Club, who've had great heritage of gymnasts. Her teammate from Heathrow won the bronze medal at the junior championships this morning.
Wow, well, what an incredible performance. Yesterday didn't go her way on beam. She came 5th with a score of 13.433 in the individual apparatus final, but my goodness me, that was the performance of her life as far as beam is concerned for the team.
Well, yes, she nearly fell over on the dismount, stepped right to the side. You could not ask for a better landing, and Great Britain really needed that.
Back in the game.
They are back in the game. It'd be interesting to see what the scores look like after this round.
14.366 for Anna Melnikova of World Gymnastics 2, the 17-year-old Russian gymnast. I mean, the Russian gymnasts here are, it's absolutely incredible. 14, 14-1, 14-0-6, 14, 14, 14-3-6-6 are all of their scores so far.
Well, Chris, Alia had a 13.9 in qualification. That was equally as good, I would have thought.
And she does work like that in the gym all the time.
Well, Marissa Iorio now up onto bars for Italy.
Oh, a lovely pike catch, Ev. Immediately the pike salto down to the low bar, so that builds the difficulty score. Stalder into the invert grip. Love this transition down to the low bar. Takes the upstart. Stalder into the shap with a half turn. Love this inverted grip swing. Then again, full twist. Watch the dismount. Into the double front somersault. Well, that's a bar routine.
Yeah.
It's like a bars final.
She came second in the individual apparatus final on bars yesterday, but Italy needed that. 14-3-3-3.
We're seeing some fantastic performances here. So 2 pieces done.
I hope they're going to show Ali Elite's score. I can tell you it's 14.166, and there is confirmation. It's the highest beam score of the day so far. Great Britain move up into 5th. Just checking, I think all of the scores are in. Yep, they are. So, World Gymnastics 2 is well ahead by over 2.5 marks, ahead of Italy in 2nd, Germany in 3rd at the moment. France have moved up to 4th, and Great Britain are now in 5th. But it's very close, look, between 3rd and 6th. Actually, there's hardly anything in there, yeah.
And I think Great Britain have got 2 very strong pieces to come, Chris. Bars can always be a little bit shaky and beam once you've got beam out the way. But that performance by Alia there, absolutely must give her a confidence that she's up there with some of the best in Europe on that piece of apparatus.
We did say yesterday that it was her first final, and she said herself, the lights, the bright lights, it was all, but she will have gained from it. Well, today she just showed how much she'd gained from it, didn't she? And
it says a lot to the selectors thinking ahead to the World Championships that are coming up. You've got a gymnast that can put in a 14.166 on beam. I mean, that is very, very helpful.
Well, interestingly enough, we are roundabout there with Germany, but if you look at floor scores, actually, we were 2 marks better on this piece of apparatus. So, you know, fingers crossed we can build from the 2 pieces that we've done already.
Yeah.
And then that brilliant vault to finish off. So, yeah, I'm feeling confident, guys.
Steady away. We're halfway around. We're halfway around.
We need a bit of confidence.
We absolutely do, yeah.
Oh, I mean, Alia, we've just seen the work at the start list, and Alia actually is first up on floor, so she's got to calm herself down, Craig.
Well, I'm excited.
Help her calm.
I'm excited to see her on the floor because
she's beautiful on the floor.
She's great on the beam there with some of the big, powerful stuff. So I cannot wait to see her floor routine.
And we have 2 gymnasts who were in the individual apparatus floor final yesterday, in Abby Martin and Ruby Evans, alongside Ali Elite. The gymnasts from France and Netherlands will be on vault, and then Spain and Belgium, they move over to bars. As far as beam is concerned, that's where the World Gymnastics 2 team are, the Russian gymnasts and the Italian gymnasts. And then Great Britain are on floor with Germany for the 3rd of the 4 pieces of apparatus in this women's team European final.
Well, obviously, we've got Italy ahead of Great Britain at the minute. They're going on to beam, which is, as we know, can be a bit of a nail-biting piece of apparatus. And then they finish on floor, where we could potentially claw back a couple of marks there.
Italy are the current European team champions. Great Britain last took a medal in this final back in 2024, and that was a silver medal. Great Britain actually won the team final in 2023. But France currently ahead of Great Britain. They took a bronze last year. And the Netherlands here, 2023 was their last medal, that was a bronze. So yes, as it stands, World Gymnastics 2 are in the lead, ahead of Italy, Germany, France, then Great Britain, Spain and the Netherlands, who you see warming up here, currently in 7th, with Belgium in 8th at the halfway stage.
And so important for the gymnasts to have a feel of the apparatus as they move round. I like this format where you see one from one country and then direct comparison with somebody from the next country.
Coming towards the end now, I think, of the warm-up. settle down. And we head to the World Gymnastics 2 team on beam. Mira Moshina, the 18-year-old, took a silver medal at the Russian Championships earlier this year. On beam.
She opens with a big leap, a flip and another jump, but she didn't link them, so they'll be credited but not given bonuses. I suspect their brief is to be steady. Bit of a long pause, but a very nice. That's such a difficult acrobatic series. A handspring along the beam and then a front somersault. You have to join two jumps, or a leap and a jump, and those were hers. Relatively simple. And that was much better. There we go. You got the three elements there: the free walkover, the split jump, and the Corbett flip. Settling into the pace of the routine now. Strong in the spin. So as well as having to show backwards and forwards tumbling, you have to show a spin, you have to do the sideways dance. You have to keep moving, not too long a pauses. Good round off, spins the double tuck, just a little pace back. Well, it started a little bit tentatively, but she grew into the routine.
Well, I think that'll be the first World Gymnastics 2 score to dip under 14.
I think you're right, Matt. There's only been 114 on beam today, I think.
Ali Elite. Sharpie of France now. 24-year-old on vault. Just the one vault in the team final. It's all or nothing in more ways than one. 3 up, 3 to count.
Hugely powerful gymnast.
Oh, lovely.
Full twist in the Yushchenko. Rather safe, simple vault, but executed very well. Stuck the landing.
We'll have to keep
13.233 in qualification.
Yeah, she's very experienced, vastly experienced, and knows exactly where that landing is. Gave very, very little away to the judges.
So, Manuela Esposito, 19 years old, took a silver on beam yesterday. A bronze medal at the Olympics and qualified with a score of 14. Ali Elite, I think, scored an 11.6 on floor.
I love this opening series. The flip on, the layout, and then the next flip. Such an accomplished gymnast on the beam. She's pacey. There we are, no doubting those 3 elements linked effortlessly. And again, so secure on all her landings. There's no hesitation. Beautifully up on the toes. Technically so precise, makes that spin look absolutely easy. Super choreography, and she never stops moving. The strong free cartwheel. Of all the gymnasts in this last cycle, Olympic cycle, she has been, for me, a long way the best on the beam. Here comes the big double pike. Oh, she had to fight just a little bit on that landing, but that was an almost faultless performance.
I think she gave herself a bit of a shot there, didn't she? Just a little bit soft in the legs, but you're right, Christine. You know, there are some gymnasts that are super stylish, and she certainly is. Look, you can see she's looking. I'm surprised she didn't hurt her back a little bit there.
Well, Italy were in second heading into this piece. Laurette Sharpie scores a 13.3 for France, who were in fourth. Italy had a couple of marks buffer on Germany. Vera Oshina, 13.633 for Beam for the World Gymnastics 2 team, made up of the Russian gymnasts.
Well, the first time they've gone under 14, but it's still a pretty credible score, that, on the beam.
Yeah, you can count your almost your 13s and your 14s on the beam. Bars it is for Belgium. Naomi Descamp, the 18-year-old.
Lovely in the handstand. Coach are just hovering below for the pack salto. Yeah, with the shot with the half turn. Won't be one of the more difficult routines. Full turn in the giant, just moving across the bars. There's the straddle Jaeger. It's a solid routine. 1.5 twists, not the most difficult, but it's through.
The Belgians in 8th place at the halfway stage. The top 8 teams from qualifying competing here in the team final.
And some nice work, but quite a different level of difficulty. That was a good Jaeger somersault. You have to have release and recatches, an efficient dismount, the 1.5 twist. She spots the floor before the final half twist, but not in the same league as the full twisting double backs.
Well, we've just watched the Russian gymnasts and the Italian gymnasts on that piece of apparatus, so it's always a big ask.
Well, Manila Esposito scores a 14.2, a great save with that dismount, and vital tenths for Italy, the current European team champions. Well, now can Abby Martin correct what happened yesterday in the individual apparatus on floor? Great Britain need every single tenth here.
And this is the huge tumble that she has to harness and control the landing of. The round off the back flip, the double straight with the full twist, just a little step out. Super high jump. And now we get another huge tumble along the way, double straight. Strong, strong landing. Style very much of her own. She told us this is a particular story being told in the routine. But this is a difficult tumble. Full twisting front, oh, just the straight front today into the double tuck. So like we said earlier, some of the teams might play a little bit safer, and she did that so she could end strongly.
Well, it's a real gamble, isn't it? We've seen people in the past play safe and then you just fall short, and Great Britain need every tenth. They're carrying 11.6 on this piece of apparatus. We did say we had our stronger piece of apparatus to finish, but difficult to pick yourself up. First tumble was actually better than the opening yesterday. Even there's a 0.1 out, it's a lot more controlled.
Well, Abby scored a 13.066 in the floor final yesterday. She finished 7th. 12.4 for Belgium. Naomi Descamp. All the 3 scores are added together to give that team total on each piece, and every single score counts. Julia Perotti next to go on beam. 16 years old. She finished 9th in the all-round competition and posted a 12.433 in qualification on beam. But Italy currently in 2nd place.
Combination. She missed the combination of leaps, but took a little pause and then performed very nicely the half-turning leap. And here the all-important acrobatic series, the backflip layout. By far the most popular and very nicely performed there. Strong ring leap with the head back. She's a very precise gymnast. Clean in the 2 jumps. Now you see 3 elements linked, but a little pause in between, and that's where the judges have to decide, were they linked or was it a pause? Lovely extension, very good control through the core. We've seen some great beam work, really. We haven't seen gymnasts wobbling all over the place. Needs this big, strong dismount. Double tuck. She's a little powerhouse. That didn't look too hard at all. Very happy with that performance for her team.
I really enjoy watching her.
Yeah, she's got a sparkle, hasn't she?
She brings a real fizz to the team, she.
Great to see these juniors really rising to the occasion. But it's nice to have a team of, you know, older gymnasts.
Abby Martin scores a 13.2 for Great Britain. So definitely an improvement on the individual apparatus floor score yesterday.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes you put in the difficulty but lose in execution. She traded for an easier routine but scored more.
Sanne Veerman of Netherlands wraps things up on vault. 24-year-old.
Tall gymnast. Oh, what a shame. 1.5 twist in the Yurchenko. She looked a little bit high onto the vaulting platform there. You can see the coils underneath, which is the spring. And if you're high on, it's really hard to just block off. Look, she hardly got a touch on the top there, Christine, and obviously that affects the rotation.
A little bit tentative on the approach run as well, not the power that we've seen from some of the gymnasts.
The Netherlands sitting in 7th, heading into the 3rd piece of apparatus. Oh, going into this rotation, it was World Gymnastics 2 ahead of Italy, then Germany were in 3rd, France 4th, Great Britain 5th, Spain 6th, Netherlands 7th, Belgium 8th. It's going to be a bit of a toe-to-toe, I think, between Germany and Great Britain. And France in the mix too. Very, very close indeed. Just tenths between Germany in 3rd and Great Britain in 5th.
When they finish on vault as well, there, you know, there's only a couple of tenths, and unfortunately, Great Britain seem to be just handing the tenths back to the other team. They've really got to dig in these last few performances.
.4 for that beam routine.
That's a mark up on her qualification I mean, these guys might be the runaway leaders, but Italy are fighting.
Angelina Melnikova, master at 26 years old of the all-around.
And she definitely links that leap series, the leap on and then the leap along. Strong flip layout. Now she's a gymnast who really does get up onto her toes. Good linkage with those elements as well. Oh, she looked a little uncomfortable with that full turning flip yesterday and a little bit of a wobble today, but she's recovered nicely. She works nice and quickly. Actually, if you can have the courage to work quickly on beam, it does make it a little bit easier. But most gymnasts want to stay secure and get slower and slower. You can see her experience here. She knows that if she just keeps moving, she keeps performing. Now, pushes off the hands in the round off, up into the double pike. Really good routine there. She'll be a little bit disappointed with that tiny wobble in the middle.
I mean, she must be absolutely exhausted with the amount of gymnastics that she's done. She got a bronze on beam yesterday, but working all around like most days.
Yeah, of all the gymnasts, she's probably had the heaviest schedule.
And she's 26.
Yeah.
But I think out of all the gymnasts, she's will have had such an enormous amount of training beforehand. You know, she's almost like a marathon runner. The miles and miles they have in the legs. She's got lots and lots she can rely on from the past, and she just fine-tunes. You know, you can't get those hours of work back.
No, those years of training, absolutely. She knows her work, she knows her body. She looks totally in control, doesn't she?
Totally. Sanne Boomen scores 12.166 for Netherlands on vault.
And that is what some of these gymnasts who are staying on longer in the sport are finding, that they've got that, they've learned about how to compete, they know what's good for them. You have to be looking after your body to carry on till you're 26 and be at the peak like this.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for Ruby Evans' score to come in. We heard her music, but we haven't seen her score or her performance. And apologies, we're not in control of the pictures. But she scored a 13.3.
Oh, excellent.
And that clears the way for the last gymnast, the German gymnast, Celia Stoa.
Well, should have just watched the performance before, and if they want to stay up with GB, they've got to pull out a good routine, and that's a good opener. Fabulous control there. Oh, a very difficult 1.5 twist, immediate straight front full. Oh, did well to control that squat spin. What she got here, into the double pike back. Another solid routine for Germany.
Not giving too much away in a toe-to-toe battle with Great Britain, and I just saw Giulia Morano of Italy nail a beam dismount and punch the air. So I think she got through that routine without too many deductions as well. That'll keep the Italians in second.
Italy certainly look on fire, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Full of determination and courage.
Well, Germany and France were ahead of Great Britain. Great Britain in 5th going into this rotation, Germany in 3rd. And that will have been helpful. Not too many major deductions, not the most difficult routine out there, but when there's 3 routines up and 3 to count, it's all about the consistency.
It is. That was a solid routine, exactly what you need.
Angelina Melnikova, 13.766 for beam. She won a bronze medal yesterday.
Nearly 7 marks in front of France after 3 pieces of apparatus. I mean,
it's incredible.
This is
it?
even better than their qualification.
Yeah. The lowest score they've posted is a 13.5.
Yep. Pretty impressive stats there.
So our scores are 12.833 for Germany.
Ooh, and that just
Keeps
pushed them
ahead.
slightly above Great Britain.
Yeah. That was a good score, actually. I had a quick look at her qualification score, which was only a 12, I think.
12.9, she had qualification.
Oh, right, 12.9.
France are in that 3rd place spot now. They've moved up, so as it stands, it's World Gymnastics 2. 3.134 marks ahead of Italy, who are still in 2nd. France have gone up into 3rd. Germany now dropped to 4th. Great Britain are 5th. Netherlands 6th. Spain 7th. And Belgium down in 8th place with 1 piece of apparatus left to go.
Goodness, that's tight between Great Britain and Germany, isn't it? Very, very tight.
Yeah, and there was only a couple of tenths between them on vault in qualification, so really will have to concentrate.
But I think the medals are just out of reach for Great Britain as it stands. A chance to look back at another German performance on floor. Karina Schoenmeier, 21 years old.
Great crowd favourite. We saw her fall beautifully yesterday, and that was a super tumble. Double back with full twist. And talk about style out of hop. Little exit from the spin, won't fool the judges. And just not quite in the splits on the leaps, but so dynamic and so charismatic with the performance. Really, her expressions fulfill the floor. Little hop backwards. A great show floor, this one.
Well, that was the performance that helped to keep Germany ahead of Great Britain. They're currently in 4th. Ruby Evans was last to go up for Great Britain, and a chance to see her floor now. Ruby was in the floor final yesterday as well. She came 4th with a score of 13.466. This happened just a little bit earlier on.
Very stylish and powerful. Look at the height in the double straight somersault. Oh, did well there, full twist. Sorry, straight front into the double twist. Two together, nail the landing there. Works seamless with the music, needs to concentrate. Come on, here we go. Stands up easily round the sky high double back. Sensational routine, just what we need.
It was a fantastic floor, that. Absolutely knocked out the park there, Ruby.
And a third floor of this championships, everyone great.
13.3. Fantastic. So the warm-up continues then for the last piece of the four in this women's team final at the Europeans. Germany and Great Britain are finishing on vault. Netherlands and France on bars. Belgium and Spain go to beam, and Italy and World Gymnastics 2, they go to floor. And just a reminder, the World Gymnastics 2 team, made up of the Russians, is 3.134 marks ahead of Italy in second, France in third, Germany fourth, Great Britain fifth. Netherlands are sixth, Spain seventh, and Belgium eighth. But yeah, there's some competition going on between Germany and Great Britain. 0.1 in it.
Well, less than a tenth, so it is tight. France, I just think they're a little bit too far in front to catch. I mean, they are on bars, they've got some really good bar workers.
Yeah.
Got that leeway of a couple of marks.
Bars is the apparatus that you can score the highest on. We see more 14s and whatever on bars than we do other pieces.
Angelina Melnikova, she's capable of very high 13s, if not climbing into the 14s for France.
Well, they had a 39.5 collective score in qualification on bars, whereas Great Britain had a 41 for the vault.
To floor we go with Manila Esposito, European floor champion, to keep Italy in second place.
And we saw this mesmerising floor yesterday. Opens with an exhibition of dance and control, expressing the music so well. Now showing her power, huge double straight. Fantastic leaps and spins. See, right up on her toes, all the extension on all the leaps. Now we need a twisting tumble this time. Here it comes, 2.5 twists, immediately into a floaty straight front summy. The gymnasts have to turn differently at each corner. Great double pike. So artistic, so secure.
Beautiful, rock solid, and firmly keeping Italy up on the medal podium. hoping for a silver for the current European team champions.
I think that's one of the best double straights I've seen her do. Sometimes it's a little bit flat, but that was great. Little step on landing here.
Pauline Schaefer-Betz, a German in the same group as Great Britain. Germany just ahead of Great Britain in 4th.
Very powerful attack. Oh, beautiful vault. Handspring straight front with a half turn. Well, you don't see many as high as that. Hugely difficult vault.
Well, she scored a 13.533 in qualification.
The style is fantastic, isn't it? Look how straight she remains, and absolute perfect timing for the half turn. You see the gymnast pike sometimes and hope to be given the straight, but that was an absolute straight.
Unbelievable power you need to generate from the springboard with rotation to turn in that straight shape. Great vault. That'll put in a good score for Germany.
Well, there's a lot of pressure on the shoulders of Lola Chassa, 16-year-old French gymnast. Well, France are in 3rd, and it's going to be France up against Germany and Great Britain's vaulting here. This is the only apparatus that she's doing, and she needs to hit here.
Good strong handstand, toe on and off. Into the half turn, big Jaeger somersault, caught securely. Oh, and there's the Kachev, immediate pat salto. She's building her difficulty here. Nice shap with half turn. There's the full pirouette, little tiny bit late, but here comes the full twisting double back dismount. They needed that, and she delivered.
The coach leapt up, didn't he, onto the podium there.
Well, she was a bit
word.
close to the bar at the dismount, actually. I thought she might just scrape it with the toes. But you're right, a lot of pressure for a gymnast just there to perform one piece of apparatus.
And keep them in contention of a medal. I mean, Great Britain and Germany are going to be pushing because they've got some very high-scoring vaulters, and France.
They have a bit of a buffer, so they'll have to hit. Look how close that was there to the bar. But she's round, and it's just consistency now. If they can hit 3 out of 3 routines, that will keep them in the bronze medal position, I think.
Esposito scores a 13.533 for Italy. Russian gymnasts of the World Gymnastics 2 team are on floor. Ludmila Roshina, the Russian floor champion.
Well, she had her lowest scoring qualification on this piece of apparatus, so maybe it was a couple of errors. Oh, beautiful double straight to start. Oh, lovely 2.5 twist with the straight front half. Very sharp on the choreography as well. Look at the height and separation in the leaps. Easily around there, double twist. Ooh, just struggled a bit coming out the spin. Fabulous control. Lots of personality in this routine. sky double pike for the final tumble. Beautiful routine.
Wow, it was mesmerising actually, wasn't it? She's got such that beautiful style mixed with dynamic tumbling. It's the perfect mix for floor.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, her footwork was fantastic. Like when she leaves the floor to dance, the feet are always fully extended. Look, extension, beautiful pointed toes. Really quite a classical performer. Very beautiful.
Well, scores of 13.366 for France. He's up on a qualification score. So Great Britain posted a 13.4 for the first vaulter, Ruby Stacey. Lea Marie Kvass of Germany now. She's worked all pieces today. This her last one, 21-year-old.
One and a half twist in the Yushchenko. A little bit soft on the landing. Don't seem to just have the difficulty to match the team from Great Britain on this piece of apparatus. Looked a bit soft off the top, Christine.
Yes. We hope to have two good, strong double twists to come. That's what they've shown throughout this competition, Abby, Gail Martin and Ruby Evans. So we should be a little up on difficulty.
13-2 for Borchina of World Gymnastics 2. Keeps them well ahead of the rest of Europe. Giulia Perotti preparing to take to the floor. Following Esposito.
Well, she's been very sparkly on all the other apparatus. And that was a great spin to start. Full twisting front somersault, double tuck. Oh, just let those feet bounce away a little bit. Very stylish. And the straight front somersault into the double pike. So two very similar opening tumbles. She's packed in the spins and the leaps, completed the double, didn't make the triple, but she's really performed beautifully. Simple final tumble, however. Not quite the same level of difficulty as we've seen from her on other pieces of apparatus, but very charming.
Very charming, and she's been such a big part of this team, hasn't she? And I'm sure they will keep in second place, but for her to have such an immense impact.
That's a very good tactical decision. They're securely in second place, I feel, and actually just the coach to say, you can do a slightly easier routine. We need to get that medal. And then you're well within your repertoire. What you don't want is a gymnast potentially getting injured because they're going all out.
Or break their confidence.
Yeah, exactly. So you're right. They have been really secure, this Italian team, haven't they? And the youngsters that they've added to the team are fitting in nicely.
Kvass scores a 13.466 for vault. Big score.
It is a big score.
Big score. And Abby Martin next at the end of the vault runway. Score and performance with Germany and trying their very best to catch France, who were over on bars. Abby scored a 13.8 in qualification. She finished 4th in the vault final with a 13.933 and a 13.466 for both of her vaults. This a big moment for Abby Martin of Great Britain.
Fantastic vaulter. Watch this, blocks in, double twist, just a step back on the landing.
I think she looks a little bit sore. I thought as she came off the floor, she was a little bit sore. She did vault final and floor final yesterday. It's a big ask to come out again today, but she performed that very nicely indeed.
I think she was high on the top of the springboard there. I don't know if you can see from here, but she looked really high, like she was almost on the pads around a little bit, and that can sometimes just tweak the ankle.
Yeah, she's hobbling a bit, but her routines are packed with difficulty, and she's gone all out at these championships.
She has. She's been fantastic. She's worked 3 pieces today without error.
12.8 for Julia Perotti. Will keep them in the silver medal position, with a few gymnasts still left to go in this team final. Anna Melnikova, the 17-year-old Russian for the World Gymnastics 2 team, who are strides ahead of the rest of Europe. Took a silver in the all-round competition on Thursday, and she's worked most pieces today.
Interestingly, this team have worked the same 3 gymnasts on every piece, but that was a little bit of a low tumble. It was very difficult. Double straight with full twist. Nice control on that spin. Ooh, whip into double tap, front summy half. That's super tumbling. Oh, wow. The audience are loving this routine. Not quite round that double spin, though. A little bit back to the Olga Korbut days here. Great double pike. Well, what a fantastic routine. Full of character, beautifully choreographed, and she performed it so well.
What an outing from these Russian gymnasts.
Huge opening tumble. Full twisting double straight, you're right, Christine, it was a little bit low, but for such a small gymnast, that's a huge tumble, and it's only going to get better over the years. It really does. You can see the look of concentration. Whip into the double back, and what surprised us, look, punch, front somersault with a half turn, unusual combination.
Actually, I said a bit back to the Korbut days, but it's Amelia Enchek, isn't it? Amelia Enchek, that's who she reminds me of.
13.666 for Abby Martin of Great Britain for vault. One more vault is to go for Great Britain.
Well, that just keeps Great Britain slightly ahead of Germany.
Elena Kola, the last gymnast for France, up onto bars. She's the French bars champion and took a bronze in the all-round at the Euros.
Lovely work at the start, showing great flexibility. Stoop in, up to the high bar, stole the full, stole the catcher, pack salto. Great in the handstand, the shot with the half turn. Stoop full, straight into a full twisting double back. What a performance from this gymnast. I've said it before and I'll say it again. She's been my star of this championships.
Incredible, and actually, I think France must have taken a fall because they scored a 12.66, so Kola had to hit there.
Absolutely, there looked like a lot of pressure on her shoulders, and to be honest, she was a bit offline on occasion. I thought she could have easily missed that Kachev. She really had to stretch for it, didn't she? But lovely full twisting double back. Relief for everybody, you could see on her face.
That was quite something. I mean, there was two 16-year-olds in that French team, and both of them delivered. And the older gymnast took a falter. Lorette Sharpie, 24. Karina Schoenmeier of Germany took a silver on this piece yesterday.
She's their big vaulter. Oh, just slightly offline there. She also looks not quite so comfortable. Well, it's going to be tight.
It's going to be very tight,
Very
Germany.
tight.
Yeah, Germany were ahead of Great Britain.
I think we'll have enough with the previous two vaulters. I mean, this was the big start. I think she went to absolutely stick the dismount, but then just jumped a little bit to one side. I don't know if it was a 1/10 penalty or 3, we'll see. But it's not a foregone conclusion at all.
Kamakova scores a 13.466. Still one more gymnast left to go, and it's Angelina Melnikova. Not before Julia Morano. Another gymnast working all pieces of apparatus today for Italy. She's been very consistent, very strong. Alina Kola wondering, hoping, can they hang on for that bronze? Great Britain in pursuit, Germany in pursuit. They've seen the score. It's good. It's good enough. It's 14.6. It's huge for the 16-year-old. Their job is done. Surely they can't be caught. But they did need every single 10th there. So, Julia Morano of Italy.
So final gymnast for Italy and for the world team still to go. That was a bit of a fall out of the spin. Here a big tumble on its way. Full twisting double back. One and a half, twisting backwards to a forward twisting element. All these gymnasts fulfilling all the requirements of the judges. Backwards and forwards tumbling. Floor routines that mirror the music. Lovely landing on that double pike. Well, a rather different finish there. Strong leaps at the end, but Italy have done their job today.
Oh, silver's in the bag. Absolutely, silver is in the bag. And I think all you can do is just stand back in that total admiration of those Russian gymnasts in the World Gymnastics 2 team, who are leaps and streets ahead of the rest of Europe.
That was the little falter before the first tumble. I don't think it would be called a fall, but it certainly wasn't a secure finish.
Just work with such confidence, this Italian team. Thoroughly deserve the second place today, that's for certain.
13.733 for Karina Schoenmeier.
So that's second behind France at the moment.
Yeah, there's Angelina Melnikova left to go, and at the other side of the arena, it's Ruby Evans at the end of the vault runway. How close to the top three can Ruby get?
Let's hope she's got enough energy left. Oh, and she has. Double twisting Yurchenko. Great, great vault. Yeah, just what we needed. I think that'll push us above Germany.
Into fourth.
Into fourth. Too many errors today, I feel, to get the British team onto the podium.
But that's great vaulting. Wonderful technique. The flip on, very high. But of course they lost Becky Downey during the competition, and I have to say I think the gymnasts have responded fantastically in the GB team to work with one of their members missing, unable to work.
Well, certainly, you know, Becky's bars would have probably given us another mark, you know.
Two marks.
The story of what could have been, I think, you know, we could have got a bronze medal. But you're right, Chris, they've worked remarkably well.
13.166 for Morano and Italy. It shows a #1 at the moment, but there's still one more gymnast to go for the World Gymnastics 2 team. And here she is. It's Angelina Melnikova, 26 years old. Took a third on floor yesterday in the individual apparatus final. The European champion from 9 years ago on this piece wraps up the women's team final on floor. And all eyes are on her.
This very big tumble, she needs it to be clean. Oh, and she made it a little bit simpler today. Showing a very special style of her own. Beautiful shoulder line. A little bit of body popping. Just the handspring, full twisting front in the middle. Beautifully paced routine. Not so frantic that she can't show everything off. sure she'll finish with a big double back. She does. What a fabulous performance. Just shows when you make the tumbles slightly easier, it can be the absolute complete performance. Led her team to a fantastic victory here.
Well, they've been away from the Euros for a while and very much back with a strong message of what they can deliver on the World Gymnastics stage.
I mean, it wasn't so much easier tumbling. It was still a double straight. But she did that with full twist, didn't she? And then the double straight in the second tumble just made it a little bit more manageable. And this was an absolute show.
Well, I think she was a bit better on the spins and the controls from the rest of the routine. It just goes to show how energy zapping a big tumble can be. It's certainly enough they will have won today.
Ruby Evans scored a 14.1. It's a big finish for Ruby Evans.
Well done, Ruby.
She's
That's
had
a fantastic finish.
Yeah, really good competition today for Ruby. I'm just waiting for Angelina Melnikova's score to come in. Final score of the team final. And we'll confirm that they are the gold medalists. So there you have it, the World Gymnastics 2 team, made up of the Russian gymnasts, 13.333, take the gold medal, 3.634 marks ahead of the rest of Europe. But Italy, they take the silver medal. They were the champions coming into this final, and France take the bronze medal. There is the gold medalists for 2026 World Gymnastics 2 team.
Great result for France. I mean, they qualified in 5th place, up into 3rd.
Yeah, they took the bronze medal at the last team final at the Europeans, so match that again this year. And they finish ahead of Great Britain, who finished 4th, with Germany in 5th, Netherlands 6th, Spain 7th, and Belgium in 8th. So World Gymnastics 2 take the title. Italy won last year, they take the silver, and France, they get the bronze. Great Britain finish in 4th.
Congrats to the winners, World Gymnastics number 2, Italy and France. One big noise for all those beautiful athletes for this beautiful sport. Rise up on feet and dance with us. Idemo malo zaplesati arena, nema krške u finalu, ali pustit ćemo jedan sirtaki.
Well, what a message the World Gymnastics 2 team delivered. 3.634 marks ahead of the rest of Europe. Chris, are you surprised by that? Did you expect that?
No, I'm not desperately surprised, because we knew they would come back strong. The heritage in Russia of gymnastics is huge. It's the biggest sport there, really, and in Melnikova they'd got a great leader. You know, a lot of youngsters coming in, but somebody to hold that team together. So I thought that they would be very strong. And in fairness, other countries like Great Britain, like France, like Italy have always strived to be able to beat the Russians, or at least compete on even footing. And now we know what we've got to get doing again if we want to be in the medals, because let's face it, of them being back in here Britain has had 3 fourth places. Now, this time last year, without them, the Russian team in it, we would have had 3 bronze medals. So we now know how much better we've got to be.
Italy, incredible, and I think the French team with those young gymnasts in there, I mean, what a hope they are.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Cola from France, I mean, for me, she's come out as a rising star of this championships. You obviously have got the experience and maturity of Melnikova. She's been around the block plenty of times, and you could see the confidence oozes from her inner performances. But, you know, I think looking at the British team, we need to look at the positives. You now know what we need to aim for, and actually, if we'd have scored what we'd have scored in qualification, we'd have been on the podium.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, if you're going back to Belgium, who finished 8th, and you go, well, we need another 10 marks, you know. So you can see the potential of this British team. You know, you've had some away at the Commonwealths, maybe a little bit of fatigue, you know. We don't know what happened with Becky. Maybe, hopefully she's okay and going to come back. Well, you know, like you said, Christine, that's a couple of marks on the bars. So, and actually to have a team member to withdraw almost puts a bit of panic in the team. So I think they did remarkably well under the circumstances, and they shouldn't be too disappointed. I know people say 4th place is the worst place to finish, but actually there is potential for them being on the podium.
Oh yeah.
Well, with a late substitution.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
that was a
Becky
strong
came
performance.
out. She came out into the arena and did the wave at the beginning. So when she suddenly didn't appear, they were probably as surprised as us. And of course, you know, Ruby stepped in. Ruby's, you know, bars are not her favourite piece, which was why she wasn't on the roster in the first place. So she did absolutely great to get in and do what she did. Yeah,
I think Giulia Perotti, actually, another 16-year-old, the young Italian there who's had such a big part in that Italian team. I think similar to Cola, she's another little rising star, a little gem that's appeared at these Euros.
These French juniors, these French youngsters, they were juniors last year, very strong in the junior teams last year, so we knew they were coming. And no great surprise, but that's what all nations hope to be having. The sort of next generation, the new draft, the new generation coming along.
I also think some of the captains of the team have played a really important role in this championship. Melnikova, obviously with her experience, has led the team. The Italians got to be Esposito as the standout person. You know, if you've got a team full of youngsters, they can run around a bit like headless chickens, where if you've got a captain of your team, it's somebody at Leeds who's there in training all the time, they can go to and go, look girls, you know, just do this, do what we've done in training. You know, I don't think you can underestimate a good leader in a team.
It's interesting as well, Chris, isn't it, talking of that new draft that are coming through. The juniors have been out there in Croatia as well, and well, we were watching at breakfast this morning.
Yes, we were, and we had 4 finals. We had a finalist in every piece, which was great, and we actually got a bronze medal on the beam. So we very much have a next generation coming along, and I was with them their final training, and I said, you know, go and see what you've got to do to be at the top, and they will know now.
Yeah. So the names that we should be looking out for are on the junior side that you think will be stepping up into the senior team next draft?
Helena Fink and Jennifer JJ, they both move up next year. So JJ was a finalist on vault and Helena on bars. So they're 2 strong gymnasts moving up. And then Elisabetta Cardielli, who actually got the bronze medal on beam and was a finalist on floor. She's got another year in the junior ranks.
Wow.
So this time next year, we would be hoping to see her being quite strong all around.
So thinking ahead then to the play, I mean, we were talking in the studio yesterday actually about what a quirky year this is because of the Commonwealth Games that we've just had. Here we are at the Euros and then the World Championships that are coming up. It's a very truncated, grouped up part of the year, isn't it? Very difficult to be peaking at the right times and to sort of ease off and then re-peak again. So what are the challenges thinking ahead to the World Championships in October from this point in time?
Well, the challenges will be a little bit of time off, not too much. I mean, we did this 4 years ago when we were in Munich. We had the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, then we had the Europeans in Munich, and then we had the World Championships in Liverpool, when in fact the British girls qualified for the Olympics. They came second. So it's not impossible to do, but you do have to pace the training properly. They'll come back, have a little bit of recuperation time, but generally keep yourself up. You won't then go off on a fortnight's holiday and build up again. You'll just take a little bit of a pause.
Because of what we've witnessed from the Russian gymnasts and the World Gymnastics 2 team, will they be tweaking those extra tenths that are possible and maybe are within reach but not quite there? Do you push for that at this point?
I actually think, because if you look at some of the younger gymnasts in this team, they have got some big skills, and I think they just need a bit more routine fitness around the big skills. I don't think they've the potential to raise the difficulty much more, but I do think what they haven't got, like Melnikova has, is the hours and hours of training which you can fall back on. It's almost like in your armoury. I think if you look at the youngsters there, they've got really big, difficult routines.
Yeah. If you think, Craig, she's 10 years older than most of the rest of the team.
Yeah.
So, and she's doing routines now that she did do at 16. She's doing them much better. She's had 10 years of practicing them. They're no longer new moves. They're in her long-term memory. All she has to do is keep fit and able to perform. They will start to gain that now. And if they will be able to keep themselves in shape and want to compete for as long as she has, then by the time they're there, those routines will look effortless.
Well, as you've seen, Melnikova over the years has had struggles with injuries. All the young gymnasts are transitioning. When you're younger, as you know, as we get older, your joints and tendons aren't just as flexible. When you can take a bit of an ankle cruncher and you can gently walk it off. When you get older, that then becomes an injury. So she's been through that, and she's at the other side. The youngsters have to gain the muscle strength and fitness to be able to put that into routine week in, week out.
Europsko prvenstvo u sportskoj gimnastici Zagreb 2026. Svečanost proglašenja pobjednica u kategoriji seniorke ekipno.
Women's Artistic Gymnastics European Championships Zagreb 2026 medal ceremony senior team.
Well, it was a strong performance considering that Becky Downey had to be substituted at mid-competition from Abby Martin, Ali Elite, Ruby Evans, Ruby Stacey and Becky Downey watching from the sidelines, and they're now speaking to David McDade. Let's see what they've got to say.
Well, ladies, fourth in the team competition at the European Championships. That's pretty decent. Ruby, just talk us through the competition.
I think we did really well. A bit of a rocky start. Obviously, people had to step into places they wasn't supposed to be. So in that, like Ruby on B, me on bars, like that was really impressive for us to like come in with no notice. So as a team, I really think we came together and fighted out there. But fourth place, we're really happy with.
And Becky, this was your big return. We were so looking forward to seeing you out there. First of all, what happened? Because you were down to do bars and beam today, a late change.
Yeah, some rough times in the warm-up. Been managing a few different body parts when we've been here, and today it was a decision that was made just to look after me a little bit more, and I was really sad to pull out. I've not really had to ever do that before. I do feel sad because I feel like I've lost these guys their medal today, but
It's okay.
but yeah, they did a really good job.
Rebecca, just to explain to people, you've had 2 years out of competition, you've had 3 surgeries, and to get back to this point is an achievement in itself.
It is, and I mean, I think the team has been amazing this whole week. There's loads of positives that we can take, and we have a world champs in 2 months. So whatever team is selected for that, like, we've got a lot of fight left in us, and there's an exciting 2 years ahead for everyone. So.
And for you, it's about looking after yourself because you've got the bigger picture of Ellie in 2 years, haven't you, to look to?
Yeah, there's a lot more to look forward to, and I mean, it wasn't an easy decision today. I know my bar routines relied on heavily, and that's essentially what I'm brought here to do. But yeah, the girls have done amazing. They stepped in when they needed to, and in some ways given others experience that, you know, there's a few that haven't even done a team final, so we're taking it one step and one competition at a time as a team, and they did amazing today.
And you mentioned the team aspect. Ruby, you had to step in on beam. You started on bars. I mean, what was it like starting, and then what's it like when you have to step in when you're not expecting to?
I mean, I kind of feel like it's almost better because you go to bed the night before, you've not got any pressure on it, and then you get told and you're like, right, I've just got to go up and do my job. I'd not even touched the podium beam at all, so to produce a clean routine for the team, I'm happy with.
And Abby, I'm going to ask you, I think, on behalf of all the team, you've done so much gymnastics the last couple of weeks, you know, you've been at the Commonwealth Games, you've been here, that's a lot of top level gymnastics. How's the body and the mind now, not just for you, but I think for everybody?
I think it is hard doing two major competitions, but I think we've managed it quite well in the training. Obviously there's going to be niggles now and again, but yeah, I think the team have managed it quite well.
And Alia, I know you were disappointed yesterday with the beam, but today 14.166, I don't know if I should tell you this, but that would have won the gold yesterday. Regardless, you must be really pleased.
Yeah, I'm very pleased. I'm glad I proved to myself that I can do it under pressure, and it just shows the more experience you gain, the more consistency it gets.
So to come back to Ruby here, you know, we mentioned about how much gymnastics you've done. We mentioned that the team's all pulled together. After a break, 2 months' time, the World Championships, I mean, are you going to come back better and stronger than ever?
Yeah, I am. I've got a floor to upgrade, so it's just a week off and I need to get straight back to it. So yeah, not too much.
Well, listen, really well done. We can't wait to see you back out on the floor in Rotterdam.
Thanks to David McDade, and well done to the team, and a big shout out to Ruby Stacey for stepping up. They never even touched the beam podium. What a performance from her.
Fantastic from all of the gymnasts, showed their mettle.
Yeah. They certainly did, and you're right, just having that in the locker, that situation rarely happens. It's just another experience, and actually something that they might go away and practice, because it could happen again. So hats off, they did put in a gutsy performance.
Well, as the World Gymnastics 2-team flag is hoisted up, we'll tell you that our coverage begins next Friday at 5 p.m. on BBC Two with the Men's European Championships, and that will see the champions of the floor, the pommel horse and the rings all decided. Then we're back on BBC Two at 3 p.m. next Saturday for the conclusion of the parallel bars, the high bar and the vault. And Harry Hepworth won Olympic bronze on vault 2 years ago and is a big medal chance for Team GB. And the competition will come to a close next Sunday with the men's team final. Coverage begins at 12:45 on BBC Two. But one final word, Chris, on what you've witnessed here on the women's side.
A fantastic championships, and the levels rising and rising, which is great.
Yeah, and Craig?
2 words, Elena, call out.
Yes, the 16-year-old from France has certainly made her mark. Well, we do hope that you've enjoyed the coverage live from Zagreb in Croatia. From myself, from Christine and Craig, it's bye for now, and we will see you next week, Friday, 5 p.m. on BBC Two. From all of us here, bye-bye.